Yo, what up? It's JSF, and today I want to do a video. I want to talk about something, but this video is going to be a little different because I want to show y'all something in the game. The people who played this game at a competitive level already know this. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. The people who pay close attention to the game and the details of the game, I mean, I don't want to say you know this, but it has to be pretty obvious to you, right? And I always thought I'm gonna random select two characters on the screen, right? Completely random select. And I'm gonna show you something. I have no agenda in random selecting here. Oh, this is not practice mode. Sorry about that. Oh, it is. So I'm gonna random select two characters here, just to prove that I'm not showing like a fringe case, or you know what I mean. I'm not, like, it's gonna be as random as possible, right? Cameos don't matter for this. So I was always of the belief that NetherRealm had a hard time balancing fighting games, that they didn't really know how to balance fighting games, and they would struggle to make their fighting games balanced. But I think at this point we just gotta call a spade and say it is what it is. They don't want their games to be balanced. Now they seem to enjoy the game having a competitive life and watching tournaments and whatnot, but the game is not designed with balance in mind. In the competitive balancing is not done with the mindset of, hey, let's try to get every character as even as possible. Like, they're making certain characters better than other characters on purpose, which I think is a cardinal sin of fighting games. But anyway, I want to just pick two characters and show you something. So this is Gears' standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, standard 4, right? So standard 1, plus 3 on block, pretty good. Standard 2, 0 on block. Standard 3, minus 3 on block. Standard 4, plus 2 on block. It should be noted that standard 4 is extremely slow at 18 frames. So being plus, and it's standard 3 as well. These buttons are god awfully slow. And then we'll look at Liu Kang's buttons really briefly. Stand jab, 6 frames plus 3. This character's so stupid. Stand 2 plus 1. Stand 3 minus 5. Stand 4 plus 4, right? Pretty good. As you can see, his stand 3 is 12 frames, stand 4 is 11 frames. Gears is both 18 frames, super duper slow. Liu Kang's got really good buttons, right? Liu Kang's a character I think is super top tier. He's just super slept on because he's boring and he doesn't have like dirt, right? He's not like saucy. He can't like overhead low mix you, unblockable you, shit like that. Now I wanna show one character, and then I'm gonna random select again. All right, we got Johnny Cage and Lee Miller, right? Now, Johnny Cage is a character that we all know is good, right? We all know Johnny Cage is good. I don't think there's an argument there. Johnny Cage is who I would say is the best solo character in the game. But let's look at Lee May's buttons, right? Stand jab plus 2. Stand 2 minus 6. Stand 3, 0. Stand 4 plus 3, right? Stand 3, 12 frames. Stand 4, 10 frames. Pretty fast buttons. Wire standard 2 is minus 6 is beyond me, right? If we were to look at Johnny Cage, right, and you could probably go through every character in the game, and this would be the case. Some characters are really close, but if you look at Johnny Cage, stand jab plus 4, stand 2 plus 4, stand 3 plus 2, stand 4 plus 5. Johnny Cage is the only character that I know of in this game that all of his standard buttons are plus, every single one of them, if you haven't noticed that. If you don't know what plus on block means, just think of it this way. If you block this button, it's still his turn. So in theory, if Johnny Cage can just keep jabbing you like this into this, right? You have to do something. Like, you have to act, right? Now you can say, oh, this is a tiny bit of chip, right? 3%. You know what I mean? Or 3 damage. I don't even know if that's 3%, whatever it is, right? It's no damage. I don't really gotta act. And it's like, oh, I can just duck, right? I can just duck and down 1. Now, I can set my Lee May to reversal, right? Have a reversal down 1. So anytime Johnny Cage goes for his jab and just tries to jab pressure, right? He tries to just jab pressure me, just poke him out of it, right? Very easily. Well, right? Johnny Cage also, if I can do it right, he also has a 9-frame mid. He is the only character in the game with a 9-frame mid. So not only is he the only character in the game where all of his fucking base, just standard buttons are plus, like literally all of his, jab, stand 2, all that shit is plus. He's also the only character in the game with a 9-frame mid, and all of his shit is so plus that the worst thing he could do in this type of situation, if I turn If I turn this off, is she still gonna poke? Okay, cool. The worst thing I can do is stand 3, this button, which is only +2, because then I can't really force you, I can't jail into anything, I can't force you to hold anything. But this shit has so much pushback and it's 10 frames, so why would I ever do this, right? It's plus, but there's no reason to do it. I can do this, which is +5, and then I can do something like sweep, right? At that range, and it'll beat every character in the game. You can't do anything, you gotta hold that, right? Or I can do something like stand 2 or stand 1, right? And then from this, like I'm +4, +4. If I do this, it's gonna come out in 5 frames. There's no 5-frame move in the game. So once you block a single jab from this character, you are in mixed city. Like you are in +frame city, you are in mixed city. And his fucking movement's amazing, right? And if you block one jab, right? Congratulations, now you gotta hold all this pressure. Because he can just do this, and this is safe -5, so it's a stagger, right? It goes into this string. This, this is also a stagger, right? He can go in, like God, it sickens me. And then this string also goes into this, all right? So if the second hit is -1, the first hit is +4, second hit is -1. So if I do this with Johnny Cage, the only thing you can do is down 1. It's the only thing you can do. There's no other option here. It's either armored reversal or down 1. And if you armored reversal, you'll beat this or block, right? But I'm trying to say if you want to take your turn back. So this is a free stagger. This, and the second hit is a mid, right? This is a free stagger. You can do this shit all fucking day. Make your opponent have to do something. Like as a Johnny Cage player, you don't need to think at all. You can just do shit. And then eventually you'll force your opponent to have to do something unsafe or risky. Because if I set my opponent back, right? If I send my opponent back to do the down 1 like I was doing before, and I just block it, it's -8. I have a 9-frame mid. If I block a down 1, not only can I punish you with my own down 1, right? I can punish with my own. It'd be +12, but even if I don't want to do that, I can just go into this. This is 9 frames. There's literally nothing. Like once you do it down, I'll bet. You block it down 1. Bet, you know what I mean? And then we go into mixed fucking city on block. And I didn't pick cameos, so you probably can't see the big issue with this, because just block. Johnny Cage, he has no like, he doesn't have a low starter or anything like that. Just block him. Like his overhead starter is reactable, and it's like, well, yeah, that's true. But then you get into shit like this, his 2-1-2 string, right? It goes into an overhead that launches, right? And you can get a full combo off of that. Then he has 2-1-4, which is cancelable. So he can go into an unreactable low that he can cancel out of, or he can go for an overhead, much more reliable, easier to get damage, but he still has that option, right? And he's got a fuck ton of different strings and shit that he can just do a lot of shit all the time. You know what I mean? Another overhead. He's got like 6 overheads and like 3 lows. So eventually you're going to have to block high, block overhead. So you're going to get, it's not even that it's 50-50s that he has. It's just that you have to respect his option to go lower overhead. And then that just lets him be just lets him reset his pressure over and over again. So you get into a situation where like you don't want to press anything because he can just, mix you up, right? He can go for whatever he wants to go for. And no other character in the game can just do this. There's no other character in the game that can do this, bro. Like this, I don't mean to make this a Johnny Cage is busted video, a Johnny Cage is super top tier video. He is super top tier and he's really stupid. He's also really brain dead. But my point is, there is no way in fuck you put a character like this in the game with the intent to make him even with the rest of the cast. There is no, and then we didn't even get into his fucking hype mechanic, bro. We didn't even get into his fucking, you know what I mean? His whole shtick. His whole, And I think the hype mechanic is really cool, but I think it's not even one of his best tools. Not even one of the best things about him. It's just a cute little thing he has. I think he's top tier without this shit. He's super top tier without it. If you just look at, like I said in my tier list video, I was like, your frame data is stupid. You're gonna be top tier. If you look at Johnny Cage, you're like, oh, his buttons don't go that far. He has no type of projectile, no type of zoning, right? Nothing that's projectile invincible, right? Like, how does he deal with that type of shit? You know what I mean? How does he, like, Shadow Dash can get blown up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what can he do? And it's like, well, he has his little parry. Parry's amazing. And he has really good walk speed, really good dashing. Like, he has really good movement, so he's gonna get in eventually. Plus, you can just play a cameo with a projectile, and then boom, his only weakness is already nullified. And once he gets to this range, he's the best character in the game. Like, bar none. It's not even close. Like, that's the thing. In some players, some competitive players, some FGC people will tell you, no, the game is really well balanced. Oh, I like where the game is, or they did a really good job balancing this game. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They made one character decisively better than other characters on purpose. That's not balance. Like, there's no planet where making my fighting game more balanced is, hey, let me make this character definitively better than everybody. Like, it just, I don't understand it. Like, with cameos, it gets dicey, right? Once you start looking at the roster with cameos in mind, right? Like, don't get me wrong, Baraka's fucking stupid. Baraka without Cyrax is top tier or close to top tier without. People were saying, oh, without Cyrax, he's not that crazy. He's still really fucking stupid. Maybe he isn't super S tier without Cyrax, but when you add that element, he becomes even better, right? And there are a lot of characters, like Scorpion without Cyrax is like bottom tier. Like, he's horrible without Cyrax. 100%. And I don't care what anybody says, I played this character. I came up with the high level optimal strats before I saw anybody else on the planet doing it. And I'm not saying that's a flex or be like, I'm better than the pro players, but I'm saying, like, if the game plan with Scorpion at the highest level, with the highest level players, is as simple as button into fucking spin into Cyrax, it's not hard to come up with, right? It's probably not that complicated of a character. Like, when you add certain cameos, certain characters just jump up the tier list, but some characters are just already fucked up without cameos, right? And when you look at the game as just 1v1 without cameos, it's like, oh, he's clearly the best character in the game. It's not even close. And other characters can get closer. The only reason characters like not Kenshi. Kenshi's fucked up too. Kenshi could be, I could make this exact same video and replace Johnny Cage with Kenshi just because of all the Sento bullshit. But when you bring in like cameos, you look at characters like Baraka, characters like Lee May, they shoot up the tier list. But I'm thankful for that because shit, man, without it, this game would be even worse balanced. Funny enough, without cameos, the balance of this game would be so much worse, which is hilarious. But it's just like, I would just want people to understand and know that this game is never going to be balanced. Competitively, it's never going to be fair. There's always going to be characters that are stupid. If you want to win, just pick a top tier. Like, there's almost no reason, unless you're one of those people who gets the satisfaction out of working harder for your wins, or you like playing a certain, like for me, I like playing the game a certain way. I like the neutral of fighting games. I like whiff punishing. I like footsies. I like spacing. I like a little bit of zoning. You know, I like pressure. I like all that kind of shit. I don't want to just press buttons the entire game and never use my brain. And that's like the Johnny Cage meta. Just fucking dash up, dash up, dash up. Mash B+, always B+. Go into a cameo, stay plus. Like, it's to the point where you have to flawless block Johnny Cage, and then you're still in block pressure for like 15 seconds. Or he has to reset the pressure so you can start taking chip if you flawless block it. So, like, the game plan isn't even at high levels. The game plan against Johnny Cage isn't even like, oh, will you get hit or won't you get hit or will it be this? It's just like, how can I stop myself from taking chip during this 15 fucking second block string that I'm gonna be stuck in? And that is nonsense. That shit that's been patched out of NRS games before, but it's in this game. So again, I know this is kind of just a rant video, kind of a ramble video. I'm not here to say I hate Johnny Cage. I might end up playing him, but the character's stupid. He's just my subject. He's the easiest way for me to show what I'm trying to tell people, and I hope everybody understands. This is another reason I don't play in tournaments for this game, not yet at least. It's just because competitively, it's a joke, bro. Like, there's no desire to make this game balanced, none. From whoever it is, Paulo, fire that nigga immediately. If it's still him, whoever's making the balanced decisions competitively, they're not trying to balance the game. Like, they did not look at Johnny Cage, look at Natara and say, yep, these characters are about even. Like, they didn't just do that. They didn't. There's absolutely no fucking way. And it's not to say Natara's horrible. It's not to say Sub-Zero, whoever you think is terrible, right? There are characters that could definitely get some tweaks, some slight buffs, but I don't really think anybody needs major buffs because every character can do anything, and if they have issues, the issues are shit that you can't really fix. Like Scorpion has some issues that they can fix, but he still just doesn't have enough buttons and enough strings, right? I don't know why they made him so simple and gave Johnny Cage 35 strings and gave Scorpion 3. Like, I hate when they do that. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's weird. But anyway, at this point, I'm just fucking ranting, and I don't want to make this video 30 minutes. So the moral of the story is this game will never be balanced. Don't ever look for a balance patch to fix the game. It's not going to happen. There's a 0% chance you're going to get a balance patch for this game. It's like, wow, all the characters are pretty much on the same level. Will all the characters be viable? It's possible if you match them with the right cameo. But there's always going to be characters that are objectively better than other characters in this game. In other fighting games, there's a possibility. Some people think like competitive balance, like perfect balance, doesn't exist. I disagree, and I don't mean perfect balance of all the characters are exactly the same. I think if you draw a line and then you move characters up, down, left, right from that line, but keep them equal distances, you can make a game balanced. But I don't think most fighting game devs are intelligent enough to do that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Y'all stay safe. JSF, I'm outie. Peace.